Pierson-Keating and asking her what is really going on with these pipelines. I've been looking at these pipes here, and like, what the heck are these things doing here? And there's so many of them. I understand that the permitting hasn't even started yet, or that they don't have a permit for this. So I've been pretty alarmed about what's happening, and I'm here fortunately with April Pierson-Keating, who really has a lot of good information, and I've asked her to share that with me and with you, so that West Virginia citizens know what's happening on this particular front. We're here in
Buchanan, West Virginia, and this is a storage yard behind us for 42-inch pipe that is probably going to be set aside for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, a project which has not been approved yet by the FERC. And Charlotte Pritt is really interested in things that affect the people of this state in terms of health and well-being. And also we're talking about property issues. Private property ownership is threatened here, and we also have the jobs question. How many jobs does it really provide? And we have some alarming figures on that. So, and also worker safety is an issue. You know, what really bothers me is a lot of these work sites where they're fracking for the natural gas that would go into this pipeline behind us don't have information on the chemicals that they're dealing with. They are not given the facts about the dangerous nature of the chemicals. They're not giving protective gear to wear, although some companies have started to do that as more and more people have started to realize it and complain about it, but it hasn't been a feature of the industry for way too long, because workers are exposed to radionuclides that come out of the shale. These are naturally occurring, and radium-226, as you know, has a half-life of 1,600 years and is a carcinogen. You also get benzene, toluene, ethylenes, and xylenes, the BTEX group. Those chemicals are present in the frac fluid. And bromides affect the water quality, and so this is a dangerous business from cradle to grave, and workers are not protected, and now they're going after property owners, and they're tantalizing them with large checks, and they're threatening eminent domain if the people don't sign. They're saying, oh well, we'll take it anyway in the future by eminent domain. Well, eminent domain is not a reality right now because these pipelines haven't been approved by the FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and the comment periods are still open on these. So if there are any landowners watching this who have land that is potentially affected by this monstrosity, you need to get in touch with our organization. Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance can help you to write your comments into the FERC and the Forest Service, who has recently come out against the Atlantic Coast Pipeline route for numerous reasons, too, and really get the public involved in this, because, you know, it's time to switch to renewable energy sources, and we believe that jobs in this state could be provided if we had solar panel factories, solar panel manufacturing, you know, wind farming and other types of alternative energies also bring jobs. Hemp farming, especially on abandoned mine lands, would bring a whole bunch of jobs, and it would create products that we could market, because industrial hemp has a variety of industrial and practical uses. And also placing solar panel farms on these abandoned mine lands, we could employ out-of-work veterans, out-of-work people from the coal fields that have lost their jobs, and even recovering drug addicts. So there is a lot of potential in this state. You know, we have a great climate for agriculture, and there are people living off the grid already, even though the gas company says it can't be done.
We know it can be.
We know it can be. We know tons of people.
Especially here in West Virginia. We know it can be.
Yeah, it's a sunny day right now, by the way.
And I want to let you know, too, that like your ideas and other people with whom I've talked, I'm implementing those ideas into my economic development plan, into my platform. And I've been so impressed that people on the ground have such incredibly wonderful, creative ideas here in West Virginia. And I have the confidence that if we have an opportunity to work together, and you have a governor who's willing to listen to actually listen to the incredible brilliance of our people and implement those, that we'll be fine. I'm really, really uncomfortable with a billionaire and a millionaire who has never really, these people have never really had to experience the things that we experience, everyday West Virginians experience. And actually, I think one of the reasons we have such incredible creative intelligence is because we have to figure out how to make something out of a little bit.
We've always adapted here in Appalachia.
Yes.
And now we have a governor who stands with the people, who wants to hear the people's ideas, but also has some very good ideas of her own. You were in the Senate and House for 8 years.
Well, yes, I have more legislative experience than all the other candidates combined.
Right.
And that time that I spent in the House and in the Senate, I served 8 years, as a stellar record for the people of West Virginia.
Yeah,
and
you did.
we hope to get that record out to you soon. I'm also concerned about, I was the vice chair of Health and Human Resources Committee, and we looked at the health issues. Do you know if the DEP is actually testing for radioactive material? Are they actually even testing for some of the things that you talked about?
To my knowledge, they're not required to do any testing before drilling, during or after. Right now there's a lot of volunteers, people like me, on the ground doing some testing. Trout Unlimited has helped by providing kits to small groups of people who want to do this. And my group, Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance, has started doing baseline testing along the potential ACP route, and already has been doing ongoing water sampling on the Stonewall on the Stonewall gathering line, which has had numerous violations and consent orders and problems with it. And that's an intrastate gathering line, not so highly regulated as these would be by the FERC.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also hearing from talking with people on the front lines that there are other chemicals that are even more dangerous than the radioactive material. So I'm continuing to listen to people throughout the state. If you have a pressing problem, Charlotte Pritt wants to know what it is, and she wants to know how she can work with you to get that resolved, and especially how she can, in her position of governor of West Virginia, help solve these problems and help use our united creativity and intelligence to make certain that West Virginians and their property are protected.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a small business person, if you're a West Virginia landowner, if you're a West Virginian who's been affected adversely by the things that have been happening, if you're a West Virginia worker who's been adversely affected by the implementation of right to work and the repealing of the prevailing wage, you know that what Charlotte Pritt is going to be there to help you reinstate the prevailing wage, and even go further as far as helping West Virginia workers and West Virginia tax dollars to be recirculated for West Virginians, West Virginia small businesses and West Virginia workers. I thank you, April.
Thank you, Charlotte, for coming out with me on this beautiful day. And you can find out a lot more about Charlotte on her website, www.charlottepritt4gov.
Hope to see you on that. Thank you.